Good evening, everybody. Joe Martin Millard here. Hope you're going well. I was just watching a video of Carl Rock dealing with these, fake scammers in India. They went on to him basically showing so-and-so is dumb and stupid at school and needs money for the stuff. And the people with the petition or with the scam were pretending to be deaf and mute and couldn't speak clearly. And it just reminded me about all these times, that happened in Paris. I'll take you back to 15 years ago when I first went to Paris in 2011. I was in Paris for the day, just changing trains, seeing a bit of the city before I went on to Nice. I just been to Hellfest in Clisson to see the Scorpions. And so as I'm walking around this greeny part in the Eiffel Tower, closing in on the French Parliament, a group of Romas came up to me and they were really pestering me to sign this stupid petition. Now, I knew in my own heart it was fake, I knew it was a load of BS, and I was doing my best to basically just tell them, I'm not interested, and they just started to pretend to be, deaf and all. So they were getting my way, so I was like, alright, this name. Testament Taylor, my favourite metal band in the thrash genre, and my favourite buddy, Metal Steve's surname, Taylor. So I signed that, and then the woman was pointing, saying, we had to give a minimum contribution of 10 euros. and she was pretending to be deaf. So what I did was I just threw the pen on the ground and I walked past. And they all just started laughing at me, and then I just gave them the finger because I knew that they were being a bunch of cunts. And then the horrible thing was my buddy Andrew from Sydney, he went to Paris for a month to do some drum sessions, and he felt for the same scare, but he was stupid enough to give him some money to shove him away. But the crazy thing enough, the last time I was in Paris, I think it was about 2 years ago, or actually, that was the last time I was in Paris, but then in my previous visit to Paris in 2022, as I was there for the weekend before I got my flight to South Africa, I was walking around the 18th arrondissement in that famous cathedral, and I saw somebody signing up a petition, and they yelled out, "Dude, it's fake! Don't give any money!" And I just couldn't believe how, 11 years later, after my first experiences in Paris, these Roma gypsies, forgive me if you use that name, they're just using Paris as a base, and they're running all these scams. They've been doing that for generations and decades, and maybe they do have French passports, maybe they don't, but it always just brings them a bad name to those group of people. I mean, you don't want to be judgmental and basically just say, there's always Romas who are going around Europe begging and pestering people for money and all this shit. Of course, but then, of course, there are always types of different people begging and pestering for money, no matter what their creed or color is. So, it would be a good idea if, basically, the French police could just, crack down on this type of shit. Because the whole world, the people who go to Paris, they probably do know there are scams about, and they should know crap about the golden ring, or the deaf petition, or the other stuff, or even the people who just try to, tie on bracelets or all these things. That's mostly done by African gangs. But if the police just did their job and basically cracked on those types of people, you would have, maybe a scam-free holiday. But a lot of people are just complaining these days about how Paris is these days because there's so many African migrants. I mean, you got to remember that those folks who came over from Africa were French citizens because they were born in a French-speaking African country when their country was still ruled by France, so they were entitled to the French passport. I mean, there's no way stopping them, I guess, but then if, let's just say, those types of people who are committing crimes do get arrested, and the French people are like, well, they don't really represent us, why don't we chuck them out? Anyway, Martin Millhead, over and out.